If you want to buy a premium cruiser in India and are not willing to go for a Harley Davidson, healthy chances are that you will buy an Indian. And that's how much the brand has grown over the years. The Indian Scout has been a popular name in the high-end cruiser territory, and this time Indian motorcycle has tried something really different with the Scout. And I must say, their attempt looks breathtakingly beautiful, to say the least. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to the Indian Scout Bobber. So is this bad boy the same Scout underneath? And if not, what else does it brings to the table? Let's find out in today's show. Following the typical bobber philosophy, the Indian Scout bobber gets minimalistic bodywork as it gets stripped down front and rear fenders. Instead of the fully exposed headlamp on the Indian Scout, the unit on the bobber comes enclosed in a bezel. While the Scout gets a lot of chrome, the Scout bobber gets blacked out elements that give it a more energetic appeal. The hanging rear number plate on the left side makes for another style highlight, and it looks really cool. The tires are of the same size as the Indian Scout, but the bobber gets knobby units that further add to the appeal. The Indian Scout bobber gets an optional pillion seat, and the company also offers a luggage rack as an optional accessory. The LED tail lamps have been integrated into the turning winkers, and this will definitely remind you of some Harley Davidsons. The Indian Scout bobber comes fitted with a 12.5 litre fuel tank, and this, coupled to its 10 km per litre fuel efficiency that we achieved in our test runs, the bike will give you a range of close to 120 kilometers once you fill the tank up to its brim. The instrument cluster on the Indian Scout bobber is a mix of analog digital readouts in which the speed is shown through a needle while rest of the information gets displayed on the small screen. The cockpit misses out on a fuel gauge, but the cluster gets a low fuel warning light. There is a pass-by look-like switch on the motorcycle, but hey, that's not for flashing the high beam. Interestingly, that is used to toggle between the information shown on the instrument cluster. The fit and finish, along with the attention to detail, is top-notch as you would expect from a motorcycle of this size and proportion. Overall, the design of the Indian Scout bobber is simply outstanding, and in my opinion, this one is the best looking Indian till date. The Indian Scout bobber gets power from the same 1133cc V-twin engine that runs the standard Scout. Even the power and torque outputs of this engine are the same at 94 bhp and 97 Newton meters. The gearbox on this one is a 6-speed unit which drives this belt-driven motorcycle. Just thumb the starter and the engine comes to life with a deep rolling sound. Shift to first gear and you will notice that the gearbox has the same clunky feel as the Indian Scout. The engine has higher level of refinement than the Scout and has a sense of urgency, especially in the mid-range. Just ring open the throttle and close to 100 Newton meters of big fat torque pulls ahead this behemoth almost effortlessly. The sweet spot of this engine is close to 100 km an hour, and the triple-digit speeds are achieved rather easily. However, hitting the red line every time is not a very pleasant experience, as the vibrations start making serious trouble near the 7000 RPM mark, and hence the best thing is to shift a bit early. Surprisingly, this 251 kg motorcycle feels light and quick on its feet once the true potential of the engine starts getting unleashed. The throttle response on the Indian Scout bobber is not much consistent in the lower raves, and this, coupled to the heavy clutch, makes riding the bike quite a bit of a task in city traffic. All thanks to the revised geometry, the Indian Scout bobber offers a slightly more aggressive riding position than the standard Scout. While this won't be a problem for a few kilometers, things will start giving you trouble over long distances. Indian Scout bobber gets conventional telescopic forks up front along with twin shocks at the rear. The suspension is on a stiffer side, especially the rear, that offers just 50 mm travel, and on broken surfaces and bigger potholes you will have a hard time. For this reason, the Indian Scout bobber enjoys the free-flowing tarmac the most. The braking is done with the help of a 298 mm disc brake up front along with a 298mm disc brake at the rear. There is enough feedback and bite from the setup, and the ABS also works fine during emergency braking. The Indian Scout Bobber is a better handler than the standard Scout, and the stiffer suspension setup has contributed to this in a positive way. The cruiser loves to be leaned over, but because of the low cornering clearance, you will end up grazing the foot pegs every now and then. Also, due to a minimum ground clearance of just 123mm, you will have to be really very careful on tall speed breakers as the bike tends to brush through them. The seating on the Indian Scout Bobber is fairly comfortable, but it is not ideal for the long haul. The rounded bar and mirrors have been fitted in an inverted fashion, and these also come across as another visual highlight. However, you will not find them that much practical as your arm will obstruct the vision when you take a look in the mirror. There is no denying the fact that the Indian Scout Bobber is a fantastic looking motorcycle. However, in terms of rideability, the motorcycle demands a lot from the rider, and factors like aggressive riding position along with stiffer suspension take it a bit away from practicality. For this reason, this is simply not a motorcycle that you can ride every day and over long distances. But at the same time, if you like getting noticed, are fond of head turns, and absolutely love arriving places in style, now you know where you have to invest your money into. At Rs 11.99 lakh ex-showroom Delhi, the Indian Scout Bobber certainly steps up your style statement, and it can be a beautiful addition to your garage that is fast too. If you like this video, hit like, share and subscribe to the Expressrise official YouTube channel. Ride safe and always remember to wear a helmet while riding. This is Pradeep Shah signing off, and I shall see you very soon.